Hi, friends. I think we can all agree that we would like for things in this life to be fair. That if our brother or sister gets an ice cream cone, we should get an ice cream cone. That's fair for us to get the same thing. Or if our sister is allowed to play outside for an extra 30 minutes beyond bedtime, we should be able to do the same thing. We should be able to get the same thing. That's fair. That's what's right. And I know in the last couple of years, a lot of us have been learning about the difference between equity and equality. And we've learned that sometimes it's not fair to give people the same things, that that's not actually what is helpful. We've talked about the illustration with the Band-Aid, that if everybody gets a Band-Aid in the same place, regardless of where their injury or their hurt is, that is not fair. That is not helpful. Even though everyone's getting the same thing, they're not getting what they need. Or maybe we've all seen the illustration of the fence at the baseball game. We're giving everyone the same box to stand on doesn't help those that need a little more to be able to see. That sometimes people need different size boxes to get them up to the level where they are able to see the baseball game. And I think that many of us can be comfortable with that idea because while we recognize we're not all getting the same thing, we are all ending up at the same place. And so therefore that is fair, that is just, that is right. A couple of weeks ago, I got to spend the week with our middle and high school youth doing our Mission Untrip. So yes, our trip away was canceled. And so we did local mission work here in Columbus in our own community. Part of what I think is really important about those mission experiences is learning how to be helpful. It's learning about why people need this help, who these people are, and of course, serving with respect and integrity. And so we did a lot of education with my dear friend Jackie about food insecurity, about why people might need this help, what systems are in place. And one of the things I realized about myself is that the idea of fairness has always been important. And so that when there were these rules that were created or systems that might stop people from getting help, what I would always look at is, well, yes, but they're also stopping people who are trying to cheat the system from getting help. And so that's important, that we have limited resources. We have a limited amount of food and money and people and time to help. And so we need to make sure people aren't cheating. People aren't taking things that don't need it. But sometimes when we're focusing on that fairness, we lose the compassion for the people that this impacts, that it affects. And so a couple of weeks ago, we got to spend time face to face with people who needed help. And we saw them for who they are, for moms and dads and children and brothers and sisters, exactly the same as we are. And one of the things that I recognized is that when given the choice between being fair and being compassionate, oh, my friends, we need to choose compassion. And for those of us like me that are a spreadsheet and a rule kind of person, sometimes we need to just let that go and recognize that sometimes there are going to be people who are going to make a bad choice and who are going to try to cheat a system. And sometimes there are people who just need some help. They just need someone to look them in the eye with some love and compassion and give them some grace, give them some help. Because it may be that they have lost their babysitter and don't have childcare and can't get to work. It may be that the bus stop was moved and now they cannot get where they need to for work and therefore they do not have the money to feed their family. It may be that a global pandemic has hit and they are struggling. When we are given the choice between choosing what is fair and what is compassionate, may we all start to work to choose compassion. Bye, friends.